What are your memories from your game against these guys last year?
Not much. We watch film on it a little bit because they do some of the same stuff. But I try not to, think about much of what I did last year because it's the new year. They had some new players. But, I just had to go out there and take it one play at a time and, hope to do my assignments as best as I can. And, I guess I did a good job.
Just watching it from the press box, it reminded, I think, a lot of people of this game last year against Texas Tech, the way you're running the ball, the huge lanes you were running through. What did it feel like to get out there and see those running lanes like that again?
It felt good. Our line did a fantastic job at opening up holes for us, and me and Joe, we just had to, run straight forward and make a cut here and there. But for the most part, the holes were right where they said they were going to be, and we just did a great job at hitting them.
When you were watching the film of last year's Kansas game, what did you think about the guy running the ball? What did you think about the guy who ran the ball most of the time when you just watching the film?
I don't really understand your question. I'm sorry.
When you watched yourself from the film last year, what did you do right?
Watch myself against who? No, I didn't watch that. Talking about watch it this year?
No, watching last year's film.
No, I just ran. I didn't have to do much. Those holes were huge.
You're a little bit different physically now than you were when you played them last year. How does that affect you as a running back?
A little skinnier, just a little bit faster, but the physicality is still there. But just a little bit more speed in the open field. That's something that I wanted to get better at because I had okay speed last year, but I just felt like I needed to get a little faster, and it's paying off so far, and I just want to keep continuing to get better.
Do you feel that speed difference when you're out in the open field, and if so, how does that feel to be faster than you are?
I haven't really been out in the open field all that much, so I couldn't tell you as of right now.
I know it's been a year, but last year you really said the record didn't matter to you during the game. I mean, people were telling you were close, but you said, I guess when we were told, you didn't really worry about it. But the offensive line, the coaches, they really pushed for it. What do you remember about how that whole build up to the finally setting the record?
Not too much. Like you said, I really didn't care about it too much at all. And even after, I still don't really care much for it. I mean, I guess it's good to have on your resume, and it's great. The best part about it was seeing my offensive line's reaction. They enjoyed it much more than I did, and I was happy for them. They had a great game, and they deserved every bit of it. But as for me, I really didn't think too much of it.
A lot of people really look at having their jersey in the College Football Hall of Fame as just a crowning achievement. But what are your thoughts when you hear that your jersey's in the Hall of Fame?
Records are made to be broken.
Talk about how this team became complacent going into that Texas game. How do you avoid that with Kansas coming up this week, especially with considering their record?
You can't look at their record. You just have to take it a day at a time. I don't think it's going to be tough because we know what can happen when you overlook someone and you think that they're not going to give you their best, because we know that's not the case. You take Texas, for instance. Their record wasn't all that great, but they came out, they played with an edge, and we came out flat, and we got beat. So I think us as a whole, we know that we have to keep on edge because we have to win every single game, week in and week out, if we want to achieve our ultimate goal, which is again, a championship back in Oklahoma.
Samaje, you're having a guy like Joe to take a bunch of the carries. Does that help just in terms of keeping you fresh, keeping you for a potential NFL career? I mean, keeping you healthy. Is that something you've thought about at all, just in terms of your body's being a little bit more preserved by having a guy like Mixon?
I haven't really thought about it, but it's it's great to have two, great backs like that because, it keeps us fresh. And once the defense starts to wear down, you just put the next guy out there, and he's just as good, and he can do as much damage as the guy before him. So it's a great thing to have two backs like that. But that's as far into it as I look.
Have you noticed? You had a collision on the sideline early in that game Saturday. Seems like a lot of guys they try to butt you up, or it's almost like you get the sense that people are trying to take a point of pride of getting a good hit on you or knocking you back now. I think the West Virginia games, Joseph had a good hit on you, and I think you tried to say, "Hey, good hit," and he didn't want anything to do with it.
No, I don't know. I guess most people react differently than I do. I give credit where it's due. If they got a good hit on me, then good for you. I'm still going to come back the next play. Whether you want to or not, that's your problem. But I'm still going to do what I have to do. But I guess they love getting big hits on big name people. I don't know, but that's something that I've been dealing with for a while, and I just shrug it off and keep going.
Do you get a sense that that's increased though after the year you had last year? That the reputation you built as kind of one of the toughest runners out there.
I don't know. I hadn't really paid that much of attention to it. It could be, but I feel like when you're in the open field, everyone tries to get a big hit on anybody they can. Once they see that shot that you rarely get, and they just take full advantage of it. And sometimes it's a big hit, sometimes you get bounced off of, and you just got to keep going.
Samaje, your quarterback got a couple tackles on Saturday. Quarterbacks don't usually get tackles. I know those came after turnovers, but do you guys as offensive guys ever watch those plays just to kind of enjoy offensive guys making tackles out there? Or does that send too much fear through you guys to see him making a tackle?
You never want to see offensive guys making tackles because that means there's been a turnover. So the hustle that he showed was great, and the people probably would have scored if he wasn't there. But when it comes to stuff like that, we're glad that he did make the tackle, he did hustle. But you never want to see plays like that, not because of fear of him getting hurt, but because there was a turnover, on that play, and we never want to turn the ball over.
To follow up on what Kerry was asking you about taking hits from other guys, do you use those opportunities, though, to maybe, get a little aggression out on somebody who might be trying to set up a block? You hitting guys in instances like that?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.